This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. The latest numbers on the spread of COVID-19 through our community are in. Plus, as the virus spreads, local agencies are making big changes affecting the public. We'll explain. And an outbreak of distemper has forced some hard choices at a local animal shelter. But officials there say this problem is widespread. How it could affect your pets, coming up. And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Maddie Jansen. And we begin with the latest on the pandemic, as each day this week we have learned of more than 1,000 new cases. Today, Public Health reports 1,635 new cases of COVID-19. The department also reported 8 new deaths. Hospitalizations are climbing, with 233 people now hospitalized with the virus in Kern. That's 17 more than yesterday. 40 others are in ICU beds across the county. That's an increase of 5 from yesterday. Meantime, the Kern County Sheriff's Office is announcing some changes due to the rapid spread of the virus right now in our community. Officials with the department say they'll be limiting unnecessary in-person contact to ensure deputies are available when there's an in-progress crime or life-threatening call. They're asking for the public's help by using the online reporting system if the crime being reported is not in progress. You can do that at kernsheriff.org. Deputies will be obtaining needed information by phone if possible and gathering evidence in person when needed. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Kern County are hosting free COVID-19 vaccine clinics throughout the month in Bakersfield and Lamont. Any child is welcome, no insurance fees required. There is one happening today at the Armstrong Youth Center on Niles Street in East Bakersfield from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. For more dates, times, and locations, you can visit kget.com. Meantime, a local testing site is changing its criteria to get tested for the virus due to overwhelming demand. Clinica Sierra Vista will now offer tests only to established patients, and tests will only be available by appointment. Their chief medical officer says if you're experiencing mild symptoms like a scratchy or sore throat and congestion, just assume you have COVID-19, self-isolate and contact your provider to schedule that test.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OB/GYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
Now to state news. Lawmakers last night voted to move forward with efforts to create a single-payer universal health care system in California. In a 11-3 vote, the Assembly Health Care Committee approved AB 1400. The bill establishes and sets the rules for CalCare, a statewide single-payer health care program. Lawmakers are hoping to ask voters to approve several tax increases to pay for it. The bill must pass through another committee and the entire Assembly before the end of the month in order for it to stay alive in this session. Meantime, Bakersfield Assemblyman Vince Fong released a statement on the passage of the bill. It reads, in part, Sacramento Democrats could not resist pushing $163 billion in new taxes to pay for a government-run healthcare system. In addition to the eye-popping price tag, this proposal imposes more state bureaucracy in healthcare decisions. And this all comes after Governor Newsom made a stop in Kern County yesterday, pushing his multi-billion-dollar budget proposal to expand Medi-Cal health insurance coverage for all low-income California residents. Speaking at Clinica Sierra Vista in Lamont Tuesday, Governor Gavin Newsom highlighted his plan to provide health care to all low-income residents regardless of immigration status. The plan is the final step in a series of moves that the governor has made in the effort to provide health insurance to Californians, starting in 2016 with undocumented children, before adding those up to age 26 last year, growing to include those 50 and older. If implemented, it would make California the nation's most populous state, the first in the country to supply such wide-reaching and all-encompassing health care coverage.
We believe we are strengthened as a community. We also believe that families are strengthened, particularly in a state as diverse and large as the state of California.
It's all part of a over $200 billion budget blueprint for the 23-24 fiscal year, where California is estimated to have a surplus of $45.7 billion. That's how Newsom plans to pay for the proposed health plan this fiscal year at least. That expansion will cost the state over $2 billion annually. The dollar amount in California's budget surplus is a year-to-year question mark, and having extra cash is never guaranteed, drawing inquiry about how it would be paid for in years with less money or none at all. Governor Newsom's answers in Lamont on Tuesday did not bring much clarity. Education news now. California is making it easier to hire teachers amid statewide shortages spurred by COVID-19. Governor Newsom signed an executive order yesterday giving schools more short-term staffing flexibility to support in-person learning. The order will make it easier for schools to hire and extend assignments to substitute teachers while eliminating hurdles retired teachers may face while returning to the classroom. The executive order will expire on March 31st. Now to a crisis at a local animal shelter, forcing them to make heartbreaking decisions as it deals with an outbreak of distemper. 100 dogs have been euthanized in 2 months since the deadly virus broke out at the Animal Care Center on South Mount Vernon Avenue. The shelter announced yesterday it will not be accepting any more dogs until they resolve the problem. That is on the advice of one of the leading distemper experts in the country, according to Nicole Gitsky, who works at the Bakersfield Animal Care Center. She joined us on Sunrise this morning to talk about the outbreak.
Yeah, so distemper's been around for years and years and years. Everyone at shelters has seen distemper, but we've never seen distemper at the alarming rates we're seeing now. That so many animals are coming into the shelter and just spreading it like crazy around the community, around the country.
The Animal Care Center says if you see a stray dog, do not pick it up because it could have distemper. And if you bring it home, it could infect the rest of your pets. If your dog does seem to be sick or showing symptoms, you're urged to call your vet immediately. Kern County Animal Services Director Nick Cullen says their shelter is still accepting dogs at this time. The best way to protect your dog is with a distemper vaccine. Later this month, Unity Canine Express Rescue will offer free parvo and distemper shots. The organization says over the past 4 months, they've seen a huge increase in the number of dogs getting distemper from local shelters and in the community itself. The vaccine clinic is happening Saturday, January 22nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the F&M Fabrics parking lot on Niles Street. Your pup has to be at least 6 weeks old. For more information, head to our website, kget.com. 17 News is your local election headquarters. Assemblyman Vince Fong announced his re-election campaign yesterday, but recent redistricting has caused a slight change. Fong, a Republican, will now be running in the newly redrawn 32nd District after previously and currently serving the 34th District. Fong's campaign says it received strong support from Republican leaders across the Central Valley, including House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Fong was born and raised in Bakersfield and is currently in his 3rd term in the Assembly. Now to your 17 News homicide tracker. We now know the name of a man killed over the weekend in a shooting. BPD says they're investigating 2 deadly shootings from over the weekend. In fact, this killing happened just after 2:30 Sunday afternoon on Miller and Oregon Streets in East Bakersfield. 43-year-old Fernando Bustamante was pronounced dead at the scene. No arrests have been made. 17 Court Watch now. The Kern County District Attorney's Office announced it will not seek the death penalty for a man charged with killing 2 women months apart. 34-year-old Adrian Chavez will instead face life without parole if convicted. Chavez was arrested in October at an encampment near Plans Park. DNA evidence and witnesses connect him to the slayings of Marilyn Cuervo in October 2020 and Crystal Hernandez in July of last year. Chavez and both of the women were homeless. He's due back in court February 25th. Meantime, a former sheriff's deputy convicted of stealing hundreds of pounds of marijuana and conspiring with another deputy to put the drugs on the street has been released from prison. 35-year-old Logan August was released Monday to community supervision. In October 2020, he made an open plea of no contest to the 15 felonies filed against him. August stole marijuana from an evidence room in March 2015. Court filings show he falsified evidence, and another deputy, Derek Penny, signed off for approval in the KCSO computer system. One of the 2 suspects in the murder of 10-year-old Liliana Jimenez was scheduled to appear in court today, but his hearing has been postponed to next month. Investigators believe 18-year-old Jesus Rodriguez and an unnamed accomplice may have committed the July 17th killing in retaliation for the death of a fellow gang member. The girl's 12-year-old brother and her father were also shot and wounded. Rodriguez is charged with murder and other crimes following his arrest in September. But because he was 17 at the time, his case was sent to juvenile court. A judge will determine whether he can be tried as an adult. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.